Alejandro. And thank you so much for the invitation to come and speak at this conference. Artists are not always invited into these spaces, but I want you to know that so much of the work that so many people in this room have done, whether it's writing, speaking, living their lives, their leadership, has inspired the films that we make. And we hope that our films will help inspire your work too. What we'd really like to do is create a virtuous cycle between arts, academicians, human rights defenders, and the various roads that we walk down. So Skylight is a human rights media organization based in Brooklyn, New York, but we work all over the world. We create documentary films and develop a media ecosystem around each feature-length documentary film. What does that mean? It means that the documentary feature film is like the flagship. And then we create all kinds of visual assets around the films. Because I believe that, as I said during lunch, I believe that if you make a good film means that the public is going to experience very strong emotions. And you want a place for the public to go with those emotions. You don't want those emotions to be wasted. You want to inform, you want to wake up, you want people to laugh, you want them to cry, you want them to experience humanity. You want them to look into the eyes of people from other places and feel deep empathy and connection with them. So many of you saw 500 Years last night, our latest feature-length documentary film. Paco. So it's probably only going to be once in a lifetime that you'll be able to have 3 films that span 35 years of work and tell one story exactly at the moment when it is needed most. So our idea after we finished 500 Years was actually to bring out all 3 films together to reinvigorate When the Mountains Tremble, made in 1982, and Granito, How to Nail a Dictator, in 2011, along with the current film, 500 Years, which was just released at Sundance this year. So I want to show you a trailer about The Resistant was just released at Sundance. Lights, please. Lights down, please.
When we come along and do this kind of work, they're afraid, and they should be afraid, because we're coming after them.
Utilicemos nuestros teléfonos celulares, vecinos y vecinas. Cada uno de nosotros podemos contar la verdad con estos aparatos. Los que tengan vara, por favor, al bloque, las juntas directivas al frente.
Un granito de arena.
Nunca vamos a callarnos.
José Efraín Ríos Montt.
A usted lo acusan de la comisión del delito de genocidio. Ordenando su ingreso directamente a prisión.
Los pueblos indígenas van a defender lo que les queda de territorios con la propia vida.
So we're going to launch the Resistance Saga in Guatemala in January of 2018. And the idea is that we're going to not only have the national premiere of 500 Years in Quetzaltenango, the indigenous capital of Guatemala, and not in the Guatemala city capital, but we're also going to combine the the 3 films, the Resistance Saga, as part of a day-long event. So it's meant to be a day-long event about filmic storytelling and historic memory. As many of you may know, a lot of the history of Guatemala is not taught in high schools and colleges, especially around the issues of genocide. So this is meant to bring together invited people in a small group, 20 to 30 people, a diverse group of people, both leaders and emerging leaders and filmmakers, to come together and watch When the Mountains Tremble and Granito, How to Nail a Dictator. The workshops will be led by Irma Alicia Velázquez Nimatuk and Andrei Chiu, 2 of the protagonists in the film, as well as Paco and me. And then at night, after we see the 2 films and have our day-long workshop, we're going to open 500 years to the general public in Quetzaltenango and Coban and Nevaj, in Salquil Grande, Chahul, and possibly Chichicastenango. But I also wanted to tell all of you here today that we're also going to do a resistance saga in the United States. When I said I thought that the 500 years and these 3 films are coming out, or we're going to take them out in the Resistance Saga at the exact moment that they're needed, it's because when we opened 500 Years at Sundance, it was the day after Trump was inaugurated. And American audiences really connected with the resistance of the Mayans. So we thought to ourselves, what are the lessons that Americans can learn from these many centuries of resistance by the Mayans? And why can't there be sort of a north-south dialogue around the film, around historic memory? And so we're going to take this out to between 5 and 10 cities and places in the United States in 2018 with Irma Alicia and Andrei Chiu as well. And we're going to meet with local groups in a day-long workshop. And we're going to try to help them exchange ideas and solidify, especially newly minted activists, people who have just become active. You saw the incredible outpouring into the streets with the Women's March, or Black Lives Matter, or many other people working around climate justice and LGBT rights. So that's what's happening with the Resistance Saga. And actually, in 1 or 2 places, we're going to partner with the universities. And of course, we'd love to come back here to be able to do a Resistance Saga here where we could make it like university community. I want to go back to talking a little bit about creating the media ecosystem. So the reason that we do this is that we like to work a lot with civil society partners and to make a part of the media ecosystem is to make short films. Some of you were at the lunchtime meeting where we showed the Se por Zarco short film. These are screenshots, screen grabs from that. You can just cycle through these. It was material that we had intended to be in 500 years, but didn't make it into 500 years, and yet it told a very complete and important story, and we didn't want to let it go. So we made this, we brought it out before 500 years, it lived on the web, and it's been translated into 4 languages. When the Mountains Tremble and Granito have been bootlegged extensively in Guatemala, and we actually encourage that. In fact, we take a really good master to the biggest bootlegger in Guatemala. His name is El Buki. And it's a fantastic way of distributing your films in all of the market stalls where you see where they have those curtains of DVDs. You want a human rights film to be bootlegged. You just do. And so we collect all of the ones we can find. But of course, this one, the next slide, Paco, is my favorite one because it says, Una historia más grande jamás contada. The greatest story never told. And the thing I love about El Buki is he takes our artwork and he makes his own artwork. So like we might present a really cool way, cool minimalist stylistic way that's really appealing to us. But he takes a lot of the images and he makes his own artwork, and they're absolutely beautiful. Another thing that we always try to do with each of our films is create a companion interactive digital project. So with Granito, How to Nail a Dictator, we decided that we were going to build a public archive of memories and to make it really easy for people to upload memories from the time of the genocide or to access memories, things they wanted to know about the genocide. And we tried to make it an intergenerational project. I'm going to show you a short film now about that so you can kind of get all of the visual ideas about what we were after. And it's still up online. It's called Granito, Every Memory Matters. Lights, please.
I've always been interested in human rights documentation, and all of my films have been about human rights and the quest for justice. And now we have all of this evidence of the genocide, and I thought that there could be a way across digital platforms to make this documentation accessible. Most of the people in the indigenous highlands are used to people coming in and taking things from them, like the image, the video, and they're not used to getting things back. So actually, if you did create that and then they got that back, that would be deep. The interactive project I'm working on is Granito, Every Memory Matters. And what we're going to try to do is to create a memory bank to help each person put their tiny grain of sand in the form of a memory into a bank. Now this could be a video, photograph, text, and we're going to try to begin a conversation across the generations to try to take away some of the fear associated with talking about the genocide. We're going to partner with the forensic anthropology team of Guatemala. These are the people, mostly in their 20s and 30s, who go around and exhume bodies and try to find out the identities of the people who were killed in the genocide and return the remains to their family. They're going to go up into the highlands and show the original film, When the Mountains Tremble, to awaken memory in the youth and to resurrect memory from the elders.
Es increíble pensar que todo lo que vimos hace poquito pasó aquí en nuestras propias calles, ¿no?
70% of Guatemalans are 30 and under, so they didn't live the violence. With mobile devices, they are going to choose an elder in their family and interview them. It's going to become a place where all these memories are kept. A memory might be the materials that have been seized from the army, that were secret documents, a text about what the person who has disappeared and who's never been found was like. A memory could be an interview.
Lo torturaron durante 15 días. Le cortaron las uñas.
Maybe the most beautiful thing that we've created is we've taken the photographs of the disappeared, whose family members didn't know where they were for many, many years. And now that these documents from the police have been seized, it's as though they're being given a life back. And in the digital realm, we've tried to recreate that emotion.
We were trying to figure out a way to represent this in an immersive way, but not expose the resolution. This is kind of where the idea of the grain of sand and the image met, because we could compose this image out of little dots, which kind of made a pixel in itself. Processing kind of runs through the entire image and creates these dots based on the RGB value it picks up, and then we place them on the canvas, and then we apply some physics to it, so it kind of comes in and forms the image, and it all has different random movements to them, but it forms this whole. We also then incorporated it into the database.
They'll be able to find data points to hone in on either memories that they want to know about that other people have had, or a way to input memories.
It could be another form of video, it could be a map from a document that was scanned.
It's meant to be both a healing process. It's also meant to try to tip the scales towards justice in Guatemala by activating this generation that has no history about the genocide because it was never taught to them in school.
Another one of our media ecosystem components is to make multiple language versions of the film, especially to make multiple language versions of the film for people who are most affected by the violence in any situation. So in the case of Guatemala, we made multiple language versions of Granito in Maya Nishil and in Quiche. And I'm just going to show you a short about how we did that with the different translation teams in the different areas of the highlands. Can you give us a little more volume as well?
Grabando.
Rial mudena shutzihoch chue, chichupamle el nusilop huachipal, ekokep ekamisanelap. Jun arere nimarrecalen Ríos Montt, Shukujerri Lucas García.
Tulnunchoti itzipa, bak itipa mola uchum bentipa tu hicham chicheti isoli lunqavitse. Ichapa paika yal tarunchulkin batse, askamaliten kula pativi. Kamsti yelafeq okatal qambi isho heba, kamba ala shrichata. Yesh hatu katal TV akwas isole, asnikushi. Tío va kamun qabatsi pale tu pesa chel. Tu chako no ti hochpupa, tu vina oval yap shamtel stool.
Gracias por acompañarnos esta noche para la presentación de Granito de Arena, cómo atrapar a un dictador en idioma ixil. Es importante también que nosotros como pueblo preservemos la memoria histórica, la memoria colectiva de lo que nos pasó, para que nosotros podamos comprender mucho de las cosas que nos pasan en nuestro presente, no solo como individuos, no solo como personas, sino que como comunidad, como municipio, como colectivo.
No podemos olvidar, no podemos contar a nuestros hijos o amigos, hay que contar la historia para que no se repita esa suciedad de violencia que hubo aquí en Guatemala. Muchas gracias y disfrutemos la película.
Valor voluntario. Y dicho hirutename, ayuda no la es la ama, la shori no la está la gente, as achito la de paleva, sube ni cheshubete, puteno ni chana cabin.
Okay, and just two more examples to finish up of our media ecosystem, which is, radio rules in a lot of rural areas, and Cultural Survival approached us about cutting up Granito, How to Nail a Dictator into radio series. So we actually worked with them to make 12 10-minute episodes of the film, and we learned so much from them about how you use radio as a tool when you can hear things but you can't see things. So this is the first episode. It's just 1 minute long. I just wanted you to hear it because you want to go high tech and you want to go low tech.
Sobrevivencia Cultural y Skylight Pictures presentan Granito de Arena, un nuevo documental sobre la búsqueda por la justicia en Guatemala. En esta versión especial de radio, usted se reunirá con Pamela Yates, una joven cineasta estadounidense que llegó a Guatemala en 1982.
En 1982 viajé a Guatemala para hacer un documental sobre una guerra oculta. Yo era joven y me sumergí en el intento de entender los grandes contrastes de este extraordinario lugar. Pero cuando hice ese documental, no sabía que realmente estaba filmando en medio de un genocidio.
Hace 30 años, Pamela Yates hizo la película Cuando las montañas tiemblan. 3 décadas después, regresa a Guatemala con esta nueva película, Granito de Arena. En el episodio anterior, el descubrimiento.
Okay, and finally, I just wanted to say that we are now putting all of the lessons learned and the experiences that we'd like to share. We'd love to share our outreach and engagement model with all of you. So we're creating an interactive masterclass. And it has 4 different levels. The 3rd level are all the Guatemala films, but it's really about how to look at, how to consume, how to interact with human rights storytelling. And we have some beta testers here in the room, people who are going to be doing it. It's in the beta phase now. If any of you, professors or students, would like to be part of the beta phase, please get in touch with me through Barbara. And thank you very much for your attention.